If you are over 60 years old and every morning you wake up with that feeling of exhaustion that never goes away, without strength, without motivation, noticing how the circulation in your most intimate area no longer responds like it used to, do not rush to blame the passing of time. The truth can be much more surprising than you imagine. Many older men, without knowing it, are leaving their bodies without the oxygen and blood they need at the very moment they need them the most while they sleep. Changing this is not complicated. All it takes is one spoonful of the right food before going to bed. For more than a decade, I have helped men from many places regain their energy, their vitality, and that lost connection between body and mind. Today, I want to share one of the most forgotten and powerful strategies in men's health. They always tell us that breakfast, exercise, or supplements are what matter, but what if the real secret was happening while you sleep? What if I told you that your body, while you rest, tries to repair your blood vessels, balance your hormone levels, and send blood exactly where you need it the most? It just needs the right fuel. In this video, you are going to discover how to do that. I will show you 7 simple, delicious, natural foods that, taken before sleeping, can transform your circulation, strengthen your muscles, and bring back your vitality, even if you are already in your 70s or 80s. Do not leave, because soon I will reveal a food I call natural vigor, and just one spoonful before sleeping can completely change how you will feel tomorrow when you wake up, and every day after that. Before going into these nighttime foods that can restore your energy and your confidence, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any of the secrets that can give men over 60 their strength, their passion, and their control again. If you are ready to transform your health, write the number 1 in the comments. If you prefer to see another type of content, write 0 and tell me how I can help you better. Now let us go straight to the point. First, it is essential to understand why circulation in that area decreases so quickly after 60 and why nighttime is the most powerful moment to restore it. This is the most common mistake many men make, and at the same time, the key to recovering their well-being. Let me explain why circulation drops while you sleep and why that can actually be your greatest advantage. Let me reveal something that most men will never hear from a doctor. Blood flow to your intimate area is not only about desire, it is deeply connected to your general health, to your identity as a man, and to the way you enjoy life each day. Sadly, after 60, that circulation starts fading little by little, faster than many can imagine. But here comes the truth almost no one mentions. Nighttime does not make the problem worse. On the contrary, it is the perfect moment to begin the healing. I remember a man named Michael, a 72-year-old former mechanic, father of 3, who came to my office with watery eyes and a trembling voice. He confessed that for more than a year he had not felt like himself, not only in the intimate aspect, but in his own sense of being a man. He felt empty, disconnected. I asked him about his nighttime routines, his eating habits, and how he spent the last hour before sleeping. Like most people, he answered nothing special. I watch a little television, read the news, and go to bed. It was at that moment that I understood that many men waste one of the most powerful hours of the day, the sacred hour before sleep. As the years go by, the body produces less and less nitric oxide, a vital molecule that relaxes and widens the blood vessels, allowing blood to flow freely, especially to the most sensitive areas. If we add the natural drop in testosterone and the stiffening of the arteries, it is not surprising that strength, vitality, and sensitivity start to fade. However, the body does not give up. While we sleep, it tries to repair that damage. It is a natural process. During deep sleep, growth hormones are released, tissues regenerate, and the nervous system resets. But if the body does not receive the correct nutrients, if it does not have the materials to rebuild itself, it cannot complete its task. And this is where many men make a mistake. They go to bed without enough protein, without magnesium, with little water in the body, or with uncontrolled sugar levels. All of this silently blocks the flow of blood to the places that need it the most. Michael, on the other hand, decided to change small things. He started giving his body what it needed, one spoonful of the right food before sleeping. In just a few weeks, his rest became deeper. He woke up energized, confident, and with a renewed strength. I will never forget when he returned. He walked more upright, his voice sounded firm, and a smile of true satisfaction appeared on his face. That is the true power of nighttime nutrition. And now you may be wondering what Michael ate before sleeping and what you should eat tonight. Let us begin with one of the simplest, most common, yet most underestimated foods in your kitchen. You have probably eaten it your whole life without imagining what it can do for your vitality and your masculine energy after 60. The main character here is the soft-boiled or poached egg, a natural activator of nitric oxide. Let me ask you a direct question. When was the last time you thought about eggs as anything more than breakfast? Many of us grew up seeing them as something routine, scrambled in the morning or fried on Sunday next to coffee and toast. But after so many years helping older men regain their strength, I can assure you that a soft-boiled egg before bed can be more beneficial for your virility than a shelf full of supplements. I remember Robert, a 69-year-old retired literature teacher, quiet, reserved, and quite skeptical. He told me with a confused smile, if it were as easy as eating eggs, someone would have told me decades ago. I laughed and answered, that is exactly what I am telling you now. Because the power of the egg is not only in its protein, but also in an amino acid called leucine, which stimulates muscle growth, balances hormones, and most importantly, supports the release of nitric oxide, the molecule that keeps arteries flexible, improves circulation, and sends blood where it is needed the most. Additionally, eggs are rich in vitamin D, which helps maintain stable testosterone levels, and in vitamin B12, which is essential for improving the nerve signals responsible for sensitivity and pleasure. And when it comes to digestion, poached or soft-boiled eggs are ideal because the body absorbs them slowly while you sleep, releasing nutrients throughout the night to your muscles, your blood vessels, and, of course, your masculine energy. Robert began eating 2 soft-boiled eggs every night. He did not follow strange diets or make drastic changes, only consistency. In less than 2 weeks, he told me that his morning erections were firmer, that he slept better, and that he no longer woke up so many times to go to the bathroom during the night. This is not magic, it is science. It is working with your body, not against it. Understanding that a simple spoonful of such a humble food can begin to rebuild what time has weakened is one of the most powerful sensations a man can experience. You are not broken, you only need to feed your body in a different way. But if you think eggs are powerful, wait until you hear about a natural cream that can relax your arteries, stabilize your sugar, and keep your circulation active all night. Just 1 spoonful can make the difference. After hearing this, you may never look at almond butter the same way again. Yes, almond butter, that creamy and smooth food, is a true natural relaxant for the blood vessels. If you have ever stood in the kitchen at night looking for something to eat without ruining your rest or altering your blood sugar, I want you to remember this. 1 single spoonful of almond butter. That is all. No pills, no tricks, no complicated formulas. Just 1 spoonful of a natural food that has been waiting for you in your pantry for years, ready to do something powerful for your body. I remember Edward, a 74-year-old man, widowed for 3 years, who had started dating again. At first, he felt embarrassed to talk about it, but one day, with a nervous smile, he confessed to me, "Everything is fine except me." We analyzed his situation. He was not taking heavy medications, his tests were normal, but his energy collapsed at nightfall, and his sleep was light and interrupted. That was when I told him about almond butter, because it is not only a healthy treat, it is a real ally for your blood circulation. It is loaded with magnesium, which helps relax the muscles of the arteries, reducing tension and improving blood flow. In addition, its healthy fats support the production of essential hormones. And its hidden treasure is arginine, an amino acid that the body transforms into nitric oxide, the key molecule that allows blood flow to reach the most important areas. And the most amazing part is this. When you eat 1 spoonful of almond butter before sleeping, you are not only giving yourself a delicious treat, you are also sending a message to your body to relax, repair, and renew itself. Furthermore, almond butter helps keep blood sugar levels stable during the night, which is crucial after 60. Sugar highs and lows can alter hormones, interrupt sleep, and drain sexual energy. Edward started spreading 1 spoonful of almond butter on a slice of whole wheat bread 1 hour before sleeping. Just that. 2 weeks later, he entered the office with a wide smile and eyes full of life. "I feel 20 years younger," he told me, "and my partner notices it too." That is the power of the right nutrition at the exact moment. And although almond butter opens the door to a real transformation, the next nighttime food goes even further. It can increase your endurance, calm inflammation, and contains a secret ingredient capable of improving your sleep and your sexual vitality naturally. It is sweet and also tart, and many people have forgotten about it. Let us talk about tart cherry juice, but not just any juice, the one that has real science behind it. A true superfood for sleep and circulation. Tart cherry juice has something magical, a nostalgia that awakens memories of summer, of childhood, of those glass bottles that grandmothers kept in the refrigerator next to the lemonade. But what few men over 60 know is that this deep red drink, with its sweet and tart touch, can quietly become one of the most powerful tools in their nighttime routine, improving both sleep and masculine vitality. I remember Raymond, a 69-year-old former bus driver with a strong voice but a tired soul. He confessed to me that he had spent months struggling with interrupted nights, lack of energy, and a frustrating disconnection between his mind and his body. "In my head I am present," he told me, "but physically I feel that my body no longer responds." That was when I told him about tart cherry juice. What makes this drink so special is not only its flavor, but its surprising synchronicity with the body while we sleep. It is one of the richest natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that regulates deep sleep, and it is also full of anthocyanins, compounds that reduce inflammation and stimulate the production of nitric oxide, essential for healthy circulation. This means that while you sleep, tart cherry juice works for you. It helps repair tissues, supports blood flow to the muscles, the heart, and of course, the intimate areas. Raymond began drinking a small cup about 30 minutes before going to bed, turning it into a relaxing ritual. In a few days, he fell asleep faster. In a few weeks, he woke up with more energy, rested, and with a vitality he had not felt in years. He told me, laughing, that even his morning erections were firmer. I did not expect the juice to do that, but I am not complaining. That is what fascinates me most about this food. It works gently, with no side effects, no complications. Just one small cup, and the body receives everything it needs to reset and rebuild itself. And although cherry juice calms, repairs, and nourishes from the inside, the next nighttime food works like a small engine of energy. It is crunchy, full of minerals, and it can also reduce the size of the prostate, an organ that has much more to do with sexual function than many men imagine. It is not something expensive or sophisticated. In fact, it is probably already in your kitchen. Let us talk about pumpkin seeds and why they may be the best kept secret of your nighttime routine. These tiny green seeds, so discreet, can become a powerful source of energy and recovery for men over 60, helping improve circulation, rest, and the strength that time tries to take away. I remember Ernest, 67 years old, a former civil engineer, tall, calm, and with a serene gaze. His main complaint when he came to talk to me was that he woke up too many times during the night. It was not something unusual, but it was a problem we could transform. That was when I told him about pumpkin seeds. These tiny seeds are packed with magnesium, a mineral that helps relax the muscles of the blood vessels, supporting a freer and healthier blood flow throughout the entire body. They're also a rich source of zinc, essential for maintaining optimal testosterone levels and protecting prostate health. What almost no one mentions is that pumpkin seeds also provide natural tryptophan, a compound that helps the body produce serotonin and melatonin, the hormones that induce deep, restorative, and revitalizing sleep. And there's something else. Certain studies suggest that the phytosterols present in these seeds may help reduce prostate enlargement, which improves urinary flow and, indirectly, also supports healthy blood circulation in the intimate area during the night. Ernest began taking 1 or 2 spoonfuls of raw pumpkin seeds before sleeping, sometimes mixed with a bit of ripe banana and other times simply on their own. In just a few weeks, he noticed that he got up half as many times at night to go to the bathroom. After 1 month, He felt more rested, with greater mental clarity and, to his surprise, much more active and responsive in his intimate moments. I had not felt this balanced in decades, he confessed to me. I feel that something inside me has turned back on. That is exactly what these small seeds achieve when they are allowed to work consistently. And although pumpkin seeds provide the essential minerals that the body needs, the next food on our list plays an even deeper role. It is a source of slow-release protein that silently rebuilds the blood vessels, the muscles, and endurance throughout the entire night. It is delicious, satisfying, and it pairs perfectly with berries or a spoonful of honey. Let us talk about Greek yogurt and why it is much more than a simple breakfast. Greek yogurt, the double protein of nighttime repair. A bowl of this yogurt has something comforting: its cold texture, its smoothness, its familiarity. But what many men do not know is that it can also become one of the most powerful tools to prepare the body before sleeping, especially if they have already passed 60 and are searching to recover their strength, their endurance, and that feeling of fullness and vitality. I remember Raphael, 71 years old, a former high school basketball coach. He still had a firm handshake and a deep voice, but he admitted that deep down he felt like the shadow of the man he used to be. His muscles had weakened, his sleep was light, and his intimate connection with his wife had cooled. "I love her with all my heart," he told me sincerely, "but my body no longer responds the way it used to." That was when I asked Raphael what he usually ate before going to sleep. He looked at me surprised and answered, "Nothing." It is a very widespread belief that eating before bed is not healthy, but when it is done correctly, a light and well-thought-out meal can work in perfect harmony with the natural rhythms of the body. And this is where Greek yogurt shines strongly. It contains two types of proteins: whey protein, which is absorbed quickly to begin the repair process, and casein, which digests slowly and nourishes the muscles and tissues throughout the entire night. That dual combination allows the blood vessels and the muscles to receive a constant flow of nutrition during the deepest phases of sleep, right when the body works hardest to regenerate and rebuild itself. But that is only the beginning. Greek yogurt is also full of calcium and B vitamins, which help maintain stable blood flow, balanced nerve function, and healthy hormone production, including testosterone. When mixed with ingredients like chia seeds, which provide omega-3 fatty acids, blueberries, which protect with their antioxidants, or a small spoonful of raw honey, which stimulates nitric oxide levels, it stops being a simple snack. It becomes an authentic nighttime therapy, gentle and deeply nourishing. Raphael understood it instantly. Every night, about 1 hour before sleeping, he prepared himself a small bowl of Greek yogurt with chia seeds, a touch of cinnamon, and thin slices of banana. In only 3 weeks, he told me he woke up with a sensation of total rest, with more energy and vitality in the mornings, and that he had regained an intimacy he had not experienced in many years. "It is not a miracle," he said, smiling, "but it feels as if it were." And although Greek yogurt offers constant nutrition and gentle repair while you sleep, the next food goes one step further. It aims directly at muscle recovery, vascular strength, and natural testosterone levels. And the best part of all is that it only requires a delicious shake. A shake that many have seen in a supermarket without suspecting that it could be the boost their vitality had been waiting for. Allow me to share the exact recipe. The ultimate shake for muscle rebuilding. A simple but powerful formula. Throughout my experience working with older men who seek to recover their energy, I have seen many try everything: supplements, exercise, diets, and still feel in decline, without spark, without motivation, without that strength that wants to find them. When I recognize that mix of frustration and silent resignation in their eyes, I know it is time to show them what I call the reset button, a nighttime shake that I have recommended to hundreds of men, and whose results usually surprise even the most skeptical. This is not any miracle powder from a health store, but a real blend made from ingredients that are proven and selected specifically for mature men who need to rebuild their muscles, revitalize their circulation, and recover their vigor. The key to the shake is that it works with your body, not against it. Because during deep sleep, The body is already repairing tissues, balancing hormones, and strengthening the arteries, and this shake enhances those very processes. Everything begins with the right ingredients, with the raw materials that can turn rest into rebuilding. The base of the shake is whey protein, a fast-absorbing source filled with essential amino acids that drive muscle repair. To this we add collagen peptides, which are essential for maintaining connective tissue, keeping the skin firm, and supporting the inner lining of the blood vessels so they stay strong and flexible. Collagen becomes crucial as the years go by, but most older men simply do not get the amount their bodies need. That is why I also include leucine, a special amino acid that works like a biological switch, activating the mechanisms that stimulate muscle building even in later stages of life. These three elements combined create what I call the nighttime total restoration system, the best gift a man can offer his body while he sleeps. I remember Hector, a 75-year-old man who came to see me after a long recovery from surgery. During that time, he had lost strength, muscle mass, and part of his confidence. He felt weak, disconnected from himself, as if his energy had abandoned him. I suggested he start with a shake: 1 scoop of whey protein, 1 scoop of collagen, 3 grams of leucine, all mixed with unsweetened almond milk and a pinch of cinnamon. Within just a few weeks, his posture changed, his energy returned, and something even more valuable came back as well: his sense of pride. He told me he felt like he was rebuilding himself, not only his body, but also his spirit. That is what happens when the body receives exactly what it needs at exactly the right moment. But even though this shake can repair the body from within, many men still do not see results because they make a silent and very common mistake. It is not about what they do, but about what they fail to do before going to sleep. And that omission, that missing piece, can be the only barrier that keeps them stuck. Let us talk about it. Why do so many men fail? The answer lies in what I call the lost nighttime strategy. I have met hundreds of men who do everything right. They eat better, take supplements, exercise, but they still feel exhausted, disconnected, without that spark that used to define them. In their eyes, I always see the same unspoken question: why does none of this work for me? And the answer is usually the same. They ignore the most powerful hour of the day, that magical window right before falling asleep. It is at that moment when the body naturally wants to repair, restore, and rebuild, but most men, without realizing it, sabotage that process. Some go to bed with an empty stomach, believing it is better for sleep. Others choose any random craving, something sweet, salty, or full of carbohydrates, raising their blood sugar, disrupting their hormones, and stealing the deep sleep they desperately need. But the most serious mistake, the one that goes unnoticed, is this: not giving the body the precise nutrients that support circulation, muscle repair, and hormonal balance exactly when it needs them the most, during rest. And this is where the true difference begins between aging or being reborn. I remember David, a 68-year-old former restaurant server, strong and disciplined, but deeply frustrated. He told me that no matter how hard he tried, he exercised, walked every day, reduced caffeine, and still saw no results. When I asked him about his nighttime routine, he shrugged and said he usually did not eat dinner or he grabbed any snack before going to bed. At that moment, everything became clear. He was not failing. He was simply missing the most important piece of his recovery: nighttime nutrition. I asked him to add something simple to his evening routine: a portion of cottage cheese or a shake with whey protein and collagen. In just 2 weeks, he began to sleep more deeply. A month later, he came back with a different light on his face and told me that he finally felt like himself again. And he was right. It does not matter how much effort men make during the day. If their bodies arrive hungry at night, they cannot rebuild themselves. But when they learn how to nourish themselves correctly in those precious hours before sleep, the change begins silently, consistently, and powerfully. This brings me to one of the most common questions I hear. If I start doing all of this, how long will it take before I notice results? The answer often surprises men because the body reacts faster than they imagine, especially when we treat it with respect and give it what it truly needs. So let us look at what happens in 7 days, 14 days, and 30 days. What happens in 7, 14, and 30 days? One of the phrases I hear most often from men who have spent years feeling drained is this: if I change my nighttime routine, will I really feel the difference? And I understand them. When they have spent months or even years feeling like their bodies are slowly shutting down, it is hard to believe that a single spoonful of food before bed can make any difference. But I want them to know that it can, and many times the change arrives faster than expected. I remember Miguel, a retired mail carrier who is 71. He was not looking for a miracle. He only wanted to wake up with energy and reconnect with his wife. Like many men, he began with skepticism, but he decided to try this nighttime strategy, choosing 1 or 2 foods before sleeping to give his body the raw materials needed to repair itself during rest. After only 7 nights, he told me something simple but profound. He said he slept more deeply, woke up less, and no longer spent the night tossing and turning. That was the first step. The transformation was just beginning. Miguel told me something that stayed with me. He said he finally felt like he was truly resting, not just closing his eyes. And it was in that moment that I understood that this is exactly where real healing begins. By day 14, his energy had visibly changed. He woke up with more vitality, more focus, and a new sense of calm. He had begun to experience natural morning erections again, something he thought he had lost forever, and he told me that his mood had shifted completely. After years, he felt the quiet return of hope. And by day 30, the change was even deeper. His physical and emotional resilience had strengthened. He no longer needed to get up during the night, and his body felt firmer, more awake, more present. His wife told me with a smile that she saw him differently, calmer, steadier, more like himself. That is what happens when the body's natural repair process is supported night after night. There is no need to wait months. With consistency and the right direction, transformations can begin within days. The body has always wanted to heal. It simply needs help, and it needs the proper resources to fulfill its natural purpose. Now that you know how quickly and deeply the body can respond, I want to leave you with a final reflection. What I am about to say is not only about nutrition or rest, but about what it means to be a man in this stage of life. You are not broken. You can rebuild yourselves. It does not matter how old you are, what your latest test results say, or how many nights you have spent feeling that your best days were gone. You can rise again. Every food we have talked about, every sip of tart cherry juice, every nighttime shake, all of it is designed to nourish the body that has been waiting patiently to be heard. I have known many men who believed that aging meant decline, that strength, passion, or intimacy had an expiration date. But I have also seen the opposite. I have seen men who chose not to give up, who began to care for themselves with commitment and discovered that the body responds and that life responds. I have seen men in their 70s or 80s regain their energy, their self-esteem, and their relationships. I have seen how their eyes fill with pride again, how their presence becomes steadier and calmer. Their bodies never failed them. They were simply waiting for attention, for rest, for nourishment, and for the kind of care that allows them to bloom again. And I want you to remember this always. It is never too late. Rebuilding is not a privilege of youth. It is the reward for those who choose to begin. The greater the effort, the deeper the gratitude the body will show. Tonight you have a choice. You can stay the same, repeating the same patterns, or you can take that first step, a small but powerful one, that tells your body, I want to live fully again. You can keep the same routine, hoping things will change on their own, or you can make a simple decision right now. Sometimes everything begins with a single spoonful of the right food, with a cup of the right drink, with a quiet gesture that tells the body, today I begin to take care of you for real. You do not need to do everything at once, you only need to start. Begin with one step, even if it is small, but one that reminds your body that it is not done yet, that it still wants to feel, to connect, to live fully. Because you deserve everything, not someday in the distant future, but tonight. So the next time you are in the kitchen before bed, ask yourselves what your body needs to feel alive again, and then give it that. Give it that spoonful, that moment of attention, and let healing take place as you rest. You are not broken, you can rebuild yourselves, and you are much stronger than you were ever led to believe. If this message has reached you even a little, do not keep it to yourselves. Share it with someone close, with a friend, a brother, or anyone going through a difficult moment who needs to remember that hope still exists. You never know how much someone's life can change because of a single word, a story, or a message like this. I would love to know what you think. Tell me in the comments which nighttime food you plan to try tonight, or what changes you have noticed since you began taking care of your body in a different way. I read every word because I know that behind every story there is a man who has chosen not to give up, and his experience may be the inspiration someone else needs to take his first step. And if you would like to support this space so we can continue sharing content that transforms lives, you are welcome to contribute. Every gesture counts. Every bit of support helps us reach more people, more men who need to hear that they can still feel alive again. You are not alone in this journey. Every time you choose to take care of yourselves, you are helping others believe that change is possible. Thank you for staying with me until now. Thank you for choosing hope, and remember, the strength you are looking for has always been within you. Stay steady, believe in your power, and we will meet again very soon in the next chapter of your new life.